This episode of the Be Easy podcast is sponsored by...
If you're looking for a barbecue, a mouth-watering steak, come down to Love's Barbecue and make you a plate. A pulled pork brisket, sausage, and ribs, with appetizers you won't forget. That's Love's Barbecue. Get a taste of Texas. It's Love's Barbecue, 13 miles west of Bernie, Texas, and Chillicothe, Texas, 79225. And with those baby blue eyes and that smile that's mine, this year when she turned 3, you better grab a hold of something close, something grabs a hold of you. And don't ask a question if you can't take it true, 'cause it might be a reflection of you. I said it might be a reflection.
Alright, coming to you live from the old abandoned Chillicothe Hospital, Chillicothe, Texas. This is the B to the
E to the Z.
and that is
Be easy.
Be Easy, baby. I'm gonna have to relax, get back. So we're here. Back in the studio.
Back in the saddle again.
I guess you call this a studio, right?
That's
We're
what it would be.
recording.
That's what it would be.
This is the old abandoned Chillicothe Hospital.
The spooky dookie.
Yeah, the spooky doo. Oh, Scooby-Doo,
There's
baby.
been so many things
that was
happen
one
here,
of my
but-
favorite cartoons. We need to get him in here.
Whoa, baby.
See who really messed up in here.
I'm telling you right now. There's some serious stories I've heard about this place.
Yeah, and this is going to be our first episode of this hospital talk. Hospital. Excuse me.
Hospital slash ghost stories. I mean, just
Well, it's a natural place for that. They're there. People walk into it. There's people that can't even go in here.
Certain
Right,
people won't come in here
absolutely.
after dark.
say seashells by the seashore. So, yeah, you know, we kind of hit on this at the end of an episode not too long ago about ghost stories and this hospital and things that's happened to us, and that we felt like we might want to share a little bit of it. I mean, Eric here has had some serious
Yeah.
Well,
stuff.
let's talk about it because I have one recently, I guess.
Yeah, so do you want to talk? So we're talking about ghost stories, spooky stories.
I guess.
This is for entertainment purposes only.
It's spooky dooky though.
Yeah.
Well, I was working at night for a
night?
while. Yeah, like overnights, and I've done it
Is that when
before.
the
And it,
freaks come out?
I've heard stories about the building before.
I used to stay
at
up
the
nights. Yeah, that's
grocery
true.
store. And, people,
Yeah.
and I've been there even when other people heard, funky noises. The building does make noises, and you kind of get used to them and know what they are, like the refrigeration cracking, defrosting, and stuff like that, and the wind when it hits the building. Because otherwise, you don't really hear a lot outside stuff usually.
Yeah, it's true.
That's what started this night. Was kind of weird. And I've heard some other kind of stuff, like people have, been there when they're by themselves and got pretty spooked. I had people that would leave. They didn't want to stay the whole night. They'd call like they can't do it. They can't work the night by themselves. And it never bothered
They
me
were scared?
that bad. Yeah, they freak out for whatever reason. They'd say they heard this or that, or, more than one, 2 or 3 people like couldn't work a night by themselves. But anyway, so that's what I was doing. All right, you know what? I also heard some other stuff. Like,
Oh yeah, like what?
like
What
they,
last
there
year?
was, it was Crystal actually, and somebody else had told her because, like she was there one morning like that, and there was just a couple of them in the building, and she thought usually when there's people there, you can sometimes like smell people. It smelled like an old lady,
I
perfume.
know that's right. There's a guy at the Mexican food restaurant. My God. Anyway,
that
I'm sorry
guy?
about that.
But nobody was there. It's like somebody just walked behind you, and you can smell them even. Stuff like that. And anyway, like I said, I've heard stuff and I always explain it away. But
There's always
That's what I was
reason
trying to do.
that
Yeah.
couldn't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I really wasn't even thinking. I'd been working all these nights and it's kind of zombied out. I wasn't thinking it was New Year's, but it was New Year's Eve. And hell, because I remember there was a floor guy there for a while, and I let him out about 11:30 or something. And I was looking when it was about 11:40 something. It's like, man, I'll probably walk back up front or something and see, midnight or whatever. And I kind of forgot about it. And then I was thinking about something else, I guess, because then I heard like pop, pop inside the building, and I was like, damn, it's like a gunshot, So like I said, you don't usually hear shit outside. And then I was like, oh hell. I looked at my watch. It was like 12:20 or something though, and 4:20. That's something funny there too. I was like, that's got to be fireworks, I guess. But it was like 12:20, and I didn't go look at them or nothing. And then, but I only heard like 4 or 5, and then also you don't hear a lot of is a helicopter coming over. Like I knew, you know what it is.
Gunshot and a helicopter?
Like it flew pretty. I figured it was going to the hospital, but it sounded like closer than usual. Yeah, like this is like
flashback to the Nam.
Yeah.
Time you got your dick shut off.
Yeah, a lot of bad thoughts. A lot of rough thoughts. But so I heard that, and then the fireworks started again. I guess whatever the popping. And I still didn't like go up front and look or nothing, but because I mean, this was all happening maybe over like 6 or 8 minutes. It all kind of happened fast. Like, what the hell, is going on outside? And then the wind hits. And I thought that was real too, because it was kind of, hell, it was like 12:30. That happens a lot of times, like a big wind out the north, kind of hits the building. And that kind of hit the building. And like right after that, some stuff fell about 2 aisles over from me. Like it sounded like.
You're the only one in the store?
Yeah, I'm the only one in the whole building. And I go over and look, I don't find nothing. On the ground for sure. And I look up on top of that, something just fell over. It sounded like it was up anyway, like it didn't hit the ground, like it was up somewhere. Oh, shit, something probably fell. I just didn't find it or whatever. Like not even a minute later, something else about in the same place sounded like it again. I'm like, I ain't gonna look.
Let me go investigate.
And it did it again. I heard shit fall. Then it sounded like somebody rattling jars. Like it was like that wouldn't. I was still thinking like, well, something fell, and so I quit looking.
Jars are chains.
It sounded weird. It sounded like somebody was rattling because it sounded like it was like pretty close to me. Like about 2 aisles over, and it almost sounded like what it was like in the pickles or something. I could hear like what the hell does that noise? Anyway, that happened like it wouldn't even be a minute, and it would do it again. Like, and I was like, no, surely not again. It did it like 8 times in 10 minutes, maybe.
Damn.
Like between, and I was looking at my watch. I was like fixing to write shit down. It's like between 12:20 and 12:40, all this shit happened.
For how many minutes? 8?
Yeah, like about 8 noises. Like I kept hearing shit noises like that. I was like, that ain't nothing. Surely, what did that? Why is it saying? And it was like kind of different. Like something else would rattle or fall.
What's that noise I hear now?
And then anyway,
I thought you knew what that
the
was.
heater, ain't it?
No, I don't know.
Sounds like water running.
I don't have no water
or blowing or something. But that was just then. I continued to hear stuff. That was just when it was like that, and like like for the next couple of hours, I would just keep.
You're starting to freak me out. Don't even stop telling this story.
No, it was. Like then it was kind of getting like I was just laughing. I was trying to ignore it, and I would be like, no, And then it would like something would happen again. About every 10 or 15 minutes, I'd hear something. And then about 3 or 4, I was, people start coming to the store about 4 or 5. Sometimes I somebody show up early to do something. The produce cutting or bakery doing something. They all usually somebody's there about 5. But about now, I figured this shit ain't gonna go on when people come or whatever, And I thought it was slowing down. I was on the other side of the store, and something you don't hear at night. It's a weird noise. You only hear those blue doors. You go through. They kind of make a weird noise, like a flipping noise. You don't hear that shit when nobody's there with you. Somebody's. Anyway, I was like not far from that. Like I could when I looked up, I heard that door. And it just made me look up. And when I looked, I could see pieces of that door. And I was like, what the? Maybe it wasn't quite shut and it shut. Now I hadn't been through that door on that side. Okay, maybe.
Trying to rationalize.
So then I go around the corner to where I'm straight on with that door. And I'm messing on that like the coffee and shit's there, And it does it again. Like I almost can't look up fast enough to see it. But it's right at the end of the deal. And that was about the last thing that happened. That was about 3:30 or 4. I think it was like 3:40. It all been about 3 hours or something that it was, and then it stopped, of course. And I was just like, I tell you, the whole time, it felt like somebody's in the building messing with you. it's just like a kid or something.
Did you get sleep that day before work?
Yeah.
I'd have been like a meth head and looking through the blinds. I would not take my eyes off where that sound was.
Yeah, no, I was doing pretty good. I mean, yeah, as far as sleep and stuff that day, because I kind of
When you work nights, sometimes you forget.
It was my
about
second
sleep.
out of 3 days. I'd worked Monday night, and that was a Tuesday by myself, and then I was going to work the next night, and I'd been off before that. Yeah, Saturday and Sunday. I was doing really pretty. I mean, it wasn't like a rough week
nights,
or
that'll
nothing.
mess you up.
So did you figure out what it was?
No,
That's just it?
yeah. I don't want to tell it, but some people, I tell you, because some people you can't. Like I said, you'll scare.
They'll think you're crazy.
Well, they do. Yeah, or you're
like,
scaring them too.
Here it goes again.
Hey, shit, you'll scare people too. Oh well, I've had some other.
Man, I got a pretty good one
yeah.
myself. Back when we were in high school, I was in high school. Y'all just graduated, and
So it'd been like 93.
football game, and of course, Coach Smart was the coach at the time, and we left the football field, headed to my house. We being my ex-wife, but we left the football field, headed to my house, which is 3 miles outside in the country, and we hit Farmers Valley Line, which everybody around here knows what Farmers Valley Line is. It's the county line, and it drops off, and you can see my house about a mile away. And she's in front of me. She's in front of me. And then she's in that green Ford Bronco. And she starts swerving all over the freaking road. I mean, like, I was like, what the hell? Somebody's attacking her. I didn't know what was going on, really. And so she hits the dirt road and tears ass, and she don't drive fast. She flies down there, slams on the brakes. So I'm flying now. She jumps out of the vehicle, and she runs around to the back of the vehicle and stays about 5 foot back. Then she runs up and looks in the back. And I said, like, what in the hell is going on? I pulled up and said, what is going on? She's like, I swear to God, there's somebody in the back seat of my vehicle. As soon as I come up over the hill right there, Farmers, county line, I could see the house. And she said, she heard plain as freaking day. I was like, what? Come on now. So I kind of blew that off because, we're in high school. Not thinking about much of anything else. So go in there, and it's time for her to go home. And always stop at the door. She'd give me a kiss goodnight, say goodbye, blah, blah, blah. And as soon as she kissed me, in my room, in my house. And I'm telling you right now.
Stalker.
Freaked us out so bad. I'm going to tell you right now. Freaked me out. I slept with a butcher knife. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, plain as day,
Why
bro.
they got to do that?
And I'm like, I wanted to go wake my parents up, but I didn't want to seem like a pussy. You know what I'm saying? Dad wasn't too far away. He was asleep on the couch. He slept on the couch every night until I graduated high school. Or passed out on the couch. But anyway, so I was like, man, I told my parents about it. I was like, damn, I mean, it's crazy that she said that then it happens again while we're both there. That's what was nuts. So I always ate breakfast with my grandmother, and I'm telling her what happened. And she looks at me and she goes, whistle like it did it again. I said, she said, okay, let me tell you, not to freak you out, but the brothers built this house back in 1920, 1915, whenever the hell it was. And one of the brothers, I can't remember which one she said it was, always whistled just like that anytime any female walked up. I mean, just, you knew the whistle from a mile away and who was doing it. And he built that house. I was like, man, that's crazy though, Did he go to all the football games?
Yeah. Did he get all of them or just this one?
That was, I mean, that's kind of freaky. I mean, it's not just super scary or nothing, but it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so
Funny, it connects or something.
got a damn perv ghost.
Yeah. I hate them stalker
And he's seen some crazy shit.
Stalker
Right.
ghost. No.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's lots of unexplained things out there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
See, mine, I guess it scares mine, Ouija board. I should have never done that.
No, absolutely
Yeah,
not.
no, I don't think.
But Earl, you was there, man.
So that was
at the cemetery.
Yeah.
So just jump in there real quick. So for y'all that don't know, well, how I believe, and we were raised, especially, me and Chris both, our moms were, pretty. They used to call them Bible thumpers around here.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like so. But anyway,
People
Ouija
thought they were
boards.
weird.
Y'all don't even look at a Ouija board
Yeah, I don't
because
anymore.
Yeah,
they'll
I'll
jump
never do
right
that
through
again.
that board, right on top of your ass, and they'll have a hold of you. And people will be like, "What? This motherfucker's crazy." No, that's a true thing.
Yeah.
It's like talking to mediums or psychics.
Yeah,
It's-
there's some things you don't mess with.
Absolutely
that are
not.
there and they're not to be messed with.
you're not supposed to talk to the dead. You're not supposed to see the
Yeah.
dead.
I wish I would have never done that. But anyway, we was out there with a few of us,
Light as a feather, stiff as a
and
Just
we put the Ouija board on the back of the car. Okay, so we all got out, put it on the back of the car. Well, we was doing it. Everybody got scared and like, all right, I'm ready to go. Like the girls got scared because it was moving. Drape was there.
yeah.
Me, you, Drape. Well, anyway, me and Drape, you, a couple others. Back of the car, calling up whoever would answer. It started moving. We're like, oh shit. Got ready to leave. The car was locked.
Running.
With the keys inside, running. And this is before cell phone.
They locked your ass
Out.
right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you couldn't leave.
We could not leave.
And we were
right there by the cemetery?
In it.
In the cemetery.
Well, we
was
were
in
Jesus,
it.
good
I
Lord.
was not. I wasn't even 50-50.
Okay, what part of the
thinking
cemetery were you at? Were you
Right in
on
the middle.
Were you
No,
on
we
the
were in the
east
back
side?
kinda, weren't we?
In the back on the back corner?
Kind of in the back.
Where the
corner.
witches are buried?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I weren't far from that. Yeah,
Yeah.
used to be. That used to be.
Yeah.
There. No, but this is where we were, dude. Because then we were looking around. Because whenever we were messing with it, I was still thinking like somebody's moving it. I don't,
I did too.
And it was like because they were like, "Who is this?" And they were like a kid, and it was like 6-year-old and all this whatever. Okay, and we just had parked in the dark. And so, sure enough, when we're looking around after the car's running and shit, we find a grave right there where we are, and it's a 6-year-old, somebody that had been buried when they were 6, and shit like that. So I don't know. It would have took one of us.
we had to
go
stay out there a
and scout
long
the spot
time, dude.
randomly.
Like-
yeah, we were out there a long time waiting.
Somebody
I'd
had
have lost
to
my happy ass,
come
but
pick us up and go back and get a
Me
new
and
set
Sonny
of.
Langford have been friends right then. I mean,
Man.
for sure.
It was like.
We had to wait. Man, we had to wait.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, oh, we were out
Sucked,
there a good
dude.
while.
Them girls were so scared, bro.
Yeah, so everybody freaked
Girls,
out,
hell,
too.
I'd have been scared.
I
too.
was, believe me. I was,
It was
just
pretty.
like,
Yeah,
man,
Man, it's
that's the last time.
that
I
was
ever
probably the last
talked
time I
about
did
them.
that.
you know, some
too.
things you just don't mess with.
Well, I didn't know. I thought it was cool.
So
I don't even know whose idea it was. Where the Ouija board
Well,
came
people have
from.
been doing. I don't know. For some reason, it was kind of a thing right then. Like for a couple of weeks, people were like, "Hey, you want to do it?"
We did
Hell
it.
no, shit.
I don't know
look
why.
at it. You know, I knew a
I
person.
thought it was a game.
Because it's like, yeah, you're trying
Right,
to figure
because
out.
there was a
who's
movie
doing
at the
it and stuff
time.
to
What
me.
was the movie that had the Ouija board in
There
it?
was.
That's
yeah,
what it
there
was.
was more than one. Probably.
What was it? Where they did the Ouija board in the beginning of it, and it's
Yeah.
What was that? Was that
I know what you're talking about.
was that Vampire Hollywood? What was that? They killed vampires, or
I don't know.
Lost
Not-
Boys.
that-
Was it Lost Boys?
May have been.
Yeah,
Maybe.
there was some others that were crazier than that about Ouija boards.
So,
But
yeah, I don't know why
yeah,
we
to
did
me,
that.
I thought it was more like it was kind of interesting trying to figure out if it's real or not, or who's doing it,
Yeah,
and shit like that. Trying to guess
but
what it.
I
says,
didn't. I didn't
who this is.
believe
To me, I
believe
thought.
any of that until we got ready to go and the car was locked. I was like, all right,
Yeah.
bro,
And it was just
running.
yeah, it just turned to a shit show. There was just like a lot of little shit starts falling
Yeah,
apart.
shit just started going wrong. Like, wow.
man, I knew this. I knew this chick one time that she got possessed. I mean, I didn't get to. I didn't see this, but she was working at a place in Houston, and had a friend there that worked there, an older lady that had a son that passed away, and she was calling a medium while they were at work.
Hell no.
And talking to this medium, and she said, "Hey, you want to talk to my son?" Which supposedly is talking through the medium. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And she made the mistake of
Saying
picking up
yes.
the phone.
Oh,
And at first, she said, "I didn't realize what happened, what was going on." Then bad shit started happening. She had to move all the way home. Next thing you know, starting to see shadows everywhere. Starting to feel like somebody's watching. And, you mix that combination of drugs, which just opens the door faster.
yeah, definitely.
She said she was sitting. Bad things just happened to her. Somebody tried to molest her. You know, just a bunch of shit happened in a row. And she's like, she called somebody to come get her. They came and got her. And she said they were driving back from that place. And she literally saw in her leg a handprint come up in her skin, trying to push out of her leg from the inside.
Yeah.
And then the next thing she knew, she was throwing up black bile, straight black. And she just pulled up in the town where she was from, and one of her friends, which was a churchgoer, said, you need to come with me. And they went to a preacher's house.
Try to get saved.
Oh, I'll tell you right now, they didn't want to come out. Said they didn't want to come out. Started throwing up a bunch of black bile. Until finally, you know, about 18, 20 hours later,
got it out.
yeah, he never stopped. The preacher never stopped. I mean, that's, you just take that at, you say face value. That's what she said, you know. And I don't know why she would make that up. She didn't know I had a religious background. But I mean, shit like that is crazy. And don't think it don't happen. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
It does.
I mean, anybody can have. You know, you're not supposed to walk into a room and see shadows out of the corner of your eye, or if you walk by a mirror and you see a face in the mirror, that's not right, bro. You need to get some help. You need to get some God help,
Right.
because you're not supposed to see things like that.
No.
And you know, I'm a firm believer in that. I mean, you don't.
There's things to
Ouija
see.
boards, you know.
Yeah, I
bullshit.
wish that was crazy. I'll never do that again.
You know,
think about it.
I mean, but I do have another story, is a positive one, I suppose. It sounds different.
Hey, there are good ghosts, right?
Right. Well, that's like that.
Angels?
I've also felt benevolent, like I said, like somebody's messing with me, stuff like that. I've had some other ones. That's just like one that's hard to believe. You know, you're by yourself or whatever. But one that was really wild to me. It takes some explaining, some setup. Of course, I was a nurse, and at one time when I had the clinic, I was the director of the clinic. I was always there early in the morning. And there were certain patients, you know, you just get into a morning routine. And this one little lady, she just sang like a bird. I mean, like constantly all the time, and she sang well. She sang like at everybody's funeral in Vernon for years. And she worked in the Wagner Bank, and she was like one of 11 kids. Her dad was like a reverend in Mississippi. He was a black lady. And anyway, that she was just, you know, such a sweetheart. Was having such a rough life, though. She didn't have any kids. She had like somebody she called her nephew. I don't think it was really kin to her, that she kind of raised, and was just the example of what you're probably supposed to be as a Christian almost. But she just had this horrible health and stuff, you know, and just, I don't know. It's just, but she was just a beautiful person, you know, and just kind of got used to her being around. As you know, there's just some patients that are different. And it was really that way when I worked in dialysis. You see, you're usually having for some years, you know, you just kind of, and pretty often, several times a week. But anyway, she was just, you know, kind of special person. And just, like I said, she sang at all these funerals and just sang. And was always singing, you know, like Christian music, gospel music, as old school stuff, Southern Baptist, you know. But anyway, she had an infection or something and passed away. And I'm going to say 2-3 months later, Leo had fallen out of a grocery basket at Target in the parking lot and had hit his head and had like a seizure.
Damn.
And they checked him out, you know, then Wichita then, and, you know, they did some tests, you know, to see, and they couldn't figure out what was wrong. If there was anything else wrong, couldn't really tell. You don't know when you've had, you know, he was little. He was like 18 months old. And that could be a concussion at any age. You don't know.
Right.
You know,
I mean, that's the thing about how tall that is compared to 18-month-old.
So not probably 2 weeks later or so, he has another seizure. And it was like, he just like, he was at the Boys and Girls Club and somebody ran into him. So it was, and knocked him down, hit the floor, pretty good fall again. And he had another seizure, and the ambulance came, yada, yada. So he had another trip to the hospital. So Crystal was pretty afraid out this shit could happen. And I wasn't there, any of these times, the first 2 times, either of those times, none of those. But I knew he had barely, you know, like, hell, you're on pins and needles. What's going on? They don't know. You just kind of wait and see. We're going to maybe do more stuff. Well, not even like some days later, they're at home. And she says she's watching him, like, just, you know, come in and out of the bathroom right there. And he falls on a carpeted floor, like nothing, like a little kid will, and just goes down and then taps his head on the floor and it goes into it like another seizure, like it's like a convulsion, like drooling and she just said she felt an immense panic, and I can imagine right then. But then all of a sudden she just had like a voice and almost like a vision and felt like this lady at the bank that for whatever reason was telling her that your baby's going to be okay. Your baby's okay. And anyway, so we ended up going to Cook's and all this stuff. And we're at Cook's. They do all kinds of tests, have us in there for days and whatever. Can't really figure out if he's going to have more problems. If not, we may have to have him. It's not epilepsy, but he does have like an injury that's probably going to get better. But he may still have trouble later. It's hard, it's a brain thing. You don't know. It may come back when he's later. He don't need to get hit in the head. Right. But the less the better. Anyway, while we're down there, I'm talking to Crystal about how she and she texts about how, she had that panic and then it just came over her. And I was like, what are you talking about this lady at the bank? Because I was pretty good about mostly, like HIPAA. Like I didn't talk about patients I had some that came to my house that were unavoidable. I had, a couple like that came from Quanta or whatever here in Chillicothe that would come, and the kids knew them and stuff like that. But this is not somebody I ever spoke of or anything. And she says, for some reason, that lady that worked in the basement at the bank, just told me that your baby's gonna be okay. I was like, who are you talking about? She goes, well, she just always, would always talk about Leo when I would go there. It was because Leo was a baby and it's the only one she'd had with her. And I found out who it was. And I was like, that's wild.
Cool.
That's wild. Well, anyway, so I still wasn't 100% on board, dude. I'm still not 100% on board. And probably when I came back to work after that happened, though, she told me that about 3 days later, I go to work like at 4 a.m. or whatever then. And I'm just walking up to the building and I get this for no reason. I mean, I was barely awake. I'm out to eat breakfast or whatever, barely doing my routine that I did, like whatever. I'm just walking in getting my keys. I can't even open the door. I just start crying and I'm overtaken. And I don't know why really. And then as I'm going in, I'm just like, it's like, she's not here. And it was like just such a feeling of missing her, like a presence of her, but it wasn't, I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, it's like
and I still wasn't like that day. I wanted to tell people, like the other people there, too. I want to
something
tell
you
the
normally
nurses or
didn't
whatever.
think of like that, huh? It's like
it just all starts coming in on you weird, and it's a feeling, like I said, as much as anything. And then I still was like, probably like, nah, as it kind of calms down, you're still like, no. I still got 3 phone calls from her. Dude, my phone would ring, and at first I didn't, and I answered it. Finally, and every time
her number would
come up. Yes.
Wow.
And I hadn't heard from her in months and nobody had tried to call me.
She's dead.
Yes. She passed away for sure then. And I got that weird air when I would answer it. It sounds like you kind of just like static a little bit, something weird. And anyway,
this is a test.
Yeah. I told her about that. Cause I was like, still no, somebody's got her phone. Shit. And then I was like, but it happened 3 times. Cause another time, not long before that, I had another patient pass away that was from here. Same kind of thing. But I think somebody had his phone. Same way. I was writing it off then.
Yeah.
Like I got a call from him once or
twice.
Just
like, why'd they call this number so much?
And it was maybe, or whatever, some guy threw his old phone or whatever, or the other number. It was just, but it was a lot. It was like, even like when you say, hey, give me a sign. It was almost like, nah, maybe, is that really? It was just like, same, like something just keeps being undeniable.
So I have told the story about giving me a sign. I've told y'all that before.
Yeah.
And that's when you ask for a sign and it gets answered immediately. That's some.
It makes you back off a little, don't it?
Hey, I'll tell you right now that I ignored it, and I wished I wouldn't have. Bad things happened, but that's crazy. But calls from the beyond.
Yeah, and like I said, the feelings I got with that were like weird, because any other time, like when you're spooked or scared or something, you know what I mean? No, this was such a weird, and not that, I don't know, I had never thought of it that way. Even it came upon me. You know what I mean?
At least it wasn't like Charles Manson calling you.
Right. Or something. Yeah. Because that's why I think you don't look. I think there are like souls trapped in between, for whatever, like the people that haunt things and stuff like that.
Yeah, we don't know.
Have some reason. That's right. We don't know.
Yeah. Like here in this hospital.
But to me, it seems like
there might be some lost.
Yeah. Because I tell you some other ones that really make you sound crazy. I don't know if it's a ghost story or a demon story, like you say. But when I was younger, I thought something happened. I didn't want to tell nobody. And I was just in my room at night, I swear to God, like I felt somebody behind me, like laying in the bed with me. I was in a single twin bed, I was probably 10 or 12. And
Was he spooning you?
well, I just felt like somebody laid in the bed, you know. Like
that's even worse.
And I'm turned to the wall. I'm turned to the wall. I'm turned to the wall in the corner.
Can't
I just felt like
escape.
somebody's there, and I'm like, it didn't. I was like, is this like my brother or my dad? Who's climbing?
God, I hope so.
And kind of.
Only me and my uncle touched me like that.
I just kind of laid there, you know, because I was half-assed asleep. I wasn't totally asleep, you know. I remember that. Like I was like, and I remember my door was even open. There was light coming in, but dark in my room. And I just start to kind of lean over to see who it is, and they kicked the shit out of me.
No, hell no.
I ain't lying. So then I'm kicked up into the wall, and I look again, and you can see where it looks like somebody's supposed to be there, but there ain't nobody.
Like there was a body imprint.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah.
I freaked out, dude. You know what I did? I just laid the fuck back down for like probably 2 or 3 hours and wouldn't look at that side of the bed. I got
Wouldn't
out
even
of the
move?
bed. Yeah.
Hey, in the mic.
Not
sorry.
no
Yeah.
blink, no blinking, just straight up.
No, and then when I finally looked again, it moved, dude. It went from there to my closet like that.
Damn it.
Like in a flash.
Boy.
Just that, and I mean, I was like in between, like, I don't know, like probably 10 or 12 years
Oh,
old.
yeah, okay. I'll say what.
Like, wasn't quite high school, but I remember it pretty vividly, you know, still.
Hell
I remember
yeah.
being kicked, because I remember sitting there.
PTSD from that shit. What you talking about?
It kicked me like in the back in my ass, kind of like.
Oh, here
Like
comes the
forever.
real story.
It left scars.
Well,
Kicked you with what now?
there was no
So-
penetration.
Okay. It wasn't just sure what just
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I
I
still
think-
thought that. I still had thought of that a long time as like fucking I had a fever or something, maybe, you know. It's like I thought it was just,
Wow.
Hallucinating.
yeah, because I
The
seen
bird
something
flu,
else. Another
something
time
like
when I thought it was like that, I seen like lights. Like I think what I saw either then was like ball lightning or
Ball
like
lightning.
yeah, what they call that. When I tried to look up what it was in a storm.
The
We had a
lightning that
storm.
comes up and goes every direction.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it came in my.
That's
window.
what it's called?
It,
It's a different kind of plasma lightning or ball lightning.
it comes from the ground and goes up,
It-
and then goes around in the clouds, and then comes back down.
It did. I swear this is.
I don't need that.
It's purple a bunch.
It's a weird blue. This shit came in the window. Didn't break the window. Came through the window into the house.
The lightning did.
Yeah. This glowing orb.
I'm pretty sure that wasn't lightning.
It lights up. No shit, I know. Still didn't make total sense. But I've heard this.
So
people
what
say
was
this
it?
same
What
stuff.
was it?
That's what I hear. The closest thing I hear is ball lightning. Some people would say it's like, man, it's alien shit or some other technology. Because it illuminated the room's electricity. I don't know if I can tell you.
Yeah,
Wow,
the lights
so
flash.
I could see. Yeah, I could see.
Oh, hell no.
Like I could see the wiring to the lights, to the switches, to the outlets, like glowing. Yeah,
Was you don't
then-
know
and
you don't
then
know
it
a guy
went
named
down.
Powder, do you?
right. I know. That's what I thought. And I was probably around the same age. Probably I was like
the
a
albino,
probably a preteen. Yeah. Had
not
the-
Powder, like you know what I mean.
Entertainment
Magic.
purposes only.
Sorry.
The magic
Not that
power?
kind of magic.
Didn't want to fool y'all. Better times up here than you think. You know, it's not like
10 years old.
Yeah, but I wrote that off to like some prepubescent fever or something. I don't
Right,
know,
right.
you know. But I swear it was like the wildest shit. It was enough to make me like look up to stuff like what could that be and like
wow.
I tried to tell my dad like what could I swear to God
He wasn't
like,
hearing that shit.
and I didn't. He's like, well, what did you see? And I told him he's like, he wanted to believe by the way I described it. Like
He's
know,
like,
why
you
would
getting
it-
my moonshine?
like there's nothing that should. Why would you know? I don't even know if I knew where the wiring was then.
I'm
know
sure
what
you
I mean?
didn't. You know, couldn't he just try to explain what you saw?
Yeah, but that's what I seen. And then it goes back out the window and never broke the window or nothing like that.
Wow.
Gone.
Which it makes you just
On a brighter note, so I know I told Chris this. I don't know if I've told you this. There was a church in like 1890, and not a missionary. Nuns had it, and they had what was a convent, but it was just like junk. And they finally saved up enough money, enough people moved to the town. You know what I'm saying? It's like 1850, I believe, in Santa Fe, New Mexico. And so they finally get enough money that they're going to build a church. I mean, a nice place for them. So this architect comes in, and they explain what they want. And there's it's beautiful. I mean, beautiful place. And there's a balcony inside the cathedral. There's a second story, and you have to have a staircase that goes up to it, right? So they got this architect, and he works, and he dies right before he's finished everything but the staircase, and he died. And we're talking like 1850. There ain't no telephones. There ain't no let's go down here.
Telegram.
Let's go down to Ace and let them give me a number, somebody I can call. You know what I mean? So they don't know what to do, so they start praying. And Catholics pray to saints, and there's a carpenter. There's a saint that's a carpenter. Right now, I can't remember his name. It's probably a good detail I should have, but
Yeah.
it's like Joseph. I believe it is Joseph. But so they start praying for like 3 months, like 80 nuns praying.
Getting shit done.
2 or more, I'm there. So anyway, about 3 months later, a guy comes up and knocks on the doors and says, "I'm here to build your staircase." And they're like, we're talking about no telephones, no nothing. And they're like, okay. He said, "But I have one stipulation. No one can come in the church while I'm building the staircase. I got to be alone." And they're like, "Oh, okay, just happy to have somebody build a staircase." So 3 months go by, and they don't hear no hammering, no nothing. And they finally go to the doors of the cathedral. They open it up, and there's the staircase, a double helix, spiral staircase, which has no nails, no glue, no nothing. Sits on itself and holds itself up. And they use it till this day. The guy is just gone. And they're like, didn't pay him, not nothing. He just gone.
Disappeared.
So they go down to the only lumber yard probably in the state, and they say, "Hey, we just had this guy come down, build our staircase. We didn't catch where he's from. We need to pay him." And he's like, "What guy? There ain't been nobody coming here to buy lumber. Ain't nobody been here." So that was a story that went along with it for a long time. So recently, the preacher or whoever's over it now decides he's going to take it a step further. They take a core sample of the staircase, of the wood. It is then the spruce or Sitka family, but there is no other type of tree in the world that matches it. In the world.
Damn.
So, who built the staircase? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Who helped him?
And it's beautiful. It's crazy. Look, I showed you pictures.
Yeah, I seen pictures of it.
It's got a solid bottom. It's amazing.
Maybe the same dude.
You know what I mean?
Maybe he came to finish it.
Yeah.
Oh, never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
Could have been.
Like, damn it, I'm going to finish this staircase.
I mean, but that's
I
just
promised him.
But it doesn't
by
have
God.
railing. It doesn't have nothing. It sits on itself. It's like one solid tree that the dude carved out.
Yeah, carved out.
Maybe he wasn't going to make that unless he died. He had to die to do it.
Oh, yeah. That was his final.
Boy, I changed my mind about what I do for a living. Come back just to build that deck.
I'm dead.
No, just to finish her off.
No, there ain't no nails, no glue, no weld, no nothing. It just floats. Unexplainable.
I think there might be something going on in this building.
Oh, absolutely.
Possibly.
I mean, it gets so cold, even in the summertime. It's so cold and freaky over there on that side, that dark side. Of course, on the dark side of the moon over there, and it smells like death.
Well, I was looking at something, not even on purpose, but yesterday or today, it's like one of those unexplained or whatever, but the most haunted place or whatever in America, it's like in Kentucky. And it used to be a hospital. It was like a sanitarium.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
And it's like by far like
they made it to a motel now or some shit.
Yeah, it looks like it's an old hospital.
I mean, they sell that
3 or 4. Yeah. And I think
come to Chillicothe, eat it loves, and go stay at a haunted hospital.
Yeah. And there's like 2 ghosts or something that are seen all
you better
the
believe
time.
people to do that shit.
I
too.
know. Hey, I ain't gonna say it's not.
Like 2 presents that are like almost. They said this one like hallway. You can roll this ball into this room and it comes back.
Oh
yeah.
Hey man, I'm gonna tell you right now. There's a house in Vernon. This is for real, dude. And both of them tell the same stories about what has happened in the house, and it's crazy, and it's nuts. And he'll be watching TV, and hear something, and look in the reflection of the TV, and in the kitchen is an old lady, a young girl, and about a lady that's about 30, but they look like something's just wrong. I mean, I'm like, what? And he's like, really? You can see, turn around, and there's nothing there. So he started filming, putting his phone on record just to catch this shit. You know what I'm saying?
That's the thing about the phone.
Hey,
boy, you can catch some shit.
I'm gonna
on
tell
camera.
you right now.
And they start doing that.
So he gets up, hears something outside one night. He gets up and looks at the peephole, and he doesn't see nobody. So what he did is he opens the blinds and takes a picture. Doesn't stick his head out. Bam, takes a picture. Man. So in the mirror on the driver's side of his Chevrolet pickup is a woman's face, like the ugliest, scariest looking lady you've ever seen in your entire life, looking back at him through the mirror, right at him. Okay? That's, hey, been sitting there playing pool, and a fork come flying out of the kitchen across the floor.
Hungry, are you?
But it's time to vacate the premises.
Yeah, time
Call
to
it,
leave
get some
for the
holy
day.
water, do something.
Yeah.
But you know, there's just so many unexplained things.
I think I need to make a room so people can do that here.
Yeah. You don't remember that time we seen that man on the road?
Like Herefordshire.
Did you mean Dre? It was raining.
Yeah, I do remember, but you better tell it because I don't remember it as good as you do.
It's after me and Dre. We were in. I think we lived in Lubbock. We were visiting.
Probably.
Or
Yeah.
we just came back. Maybe we just moved back. I think we just moved back, and it was that big rain.
The mirrors
And it
were
was
kinda
that- we had
blurry.
some big rains, you know. It was like just poured for days. Like it had like a 9-inch rain and a 10-inch.
Oh, I remember that. That's when it flooded.
Summer. It was that summer, and it was raining
I
one
was working
night.
at
Was
state.
there nails in between?
What?
I was working at
9-inch
state
nails,
at that time, I think.
But we were just gonna make like a drag around 2006 or something. We were just driving around, you know, and it was just pouring rain.
Listen
We
to
weren't right
music.
there. We were just past the cemetery. We were somewhere between the cemetery and your dad's house,
yeah?
grandparents' house. Remember?
had to put it
And like
in
it's
that
just, I mean, you can barely see, you know, like maybe just the headlights, not even because it's just pouring rain. And as we're going, because we're probably going like 50, 55, not even that fast. Probably the end of the speed limit was that, I think.
Yeah, really.
But probably going slower than that because it was raining. And then we're like kind of, you know, talking or fucking around, whatever. And then we drive by, and this is what I saw. And it looked like just like a kind of old timey dude in a raincoat, and he had a lantern, and he's just sitting there
Oh,
waving.
I do
like
remember
this.
that.
And
Yeah.
he's doing this.
That's the night watchman, bro. I can tell you who that is.
And
They used to walk around Chillicothe like that. I'll tell
What?
you another story on top
Yeah.
of this right
well,
here.
we stopped like that. Like, I mean, we stopped right then. And like, because it was like, did you see what? And then, what did you see? What did you see? Well, and it's like, damn, you know, that was an old man with a hat, and he had
Carrying
a
it-
beard.
was he
and
carrying
had
it
a
up here?
lantern, And he just waved. And he had it like at his chest, I think, like right about here, or his head. And then he was just waving. Was the thing like, but it wasn't waving like stop. It
Did
was
y'all
just-
stop and
it was
go
like
back
hot.
and-
yes,
No
we
way
fucking
nobody
looked all
out
over
there.
for him. We
Wow.
fucking looked all over for him. There's no way there was no vehicle that left. We stopped like that
Yeah.
too. We stopped like that, turned around, couldn't
Nothing.
find him. We looked around more, couldn't find him. And it was pouring rain. Who the fuck was out there in the pouring rain? And they weren't like, stop. That's what we thought at first too. That's why I
Yeah.
started hitting the brakes. It's like, and that's what we talked about too. Well, they weren't even, it was like waving like, hey, like a weird.
So I'm going to go ahead and
Yeah, go
add on to this little story. One time I was leaving Chillicothe, Texas, right here. Went by this hospital, which is owned by Chris Love, which owns Love's Barbecue, by the way. It's a delicious place to eat. I guarantee you, you'll always come back and ring a bell. But anyway, so I get right up here to the light, and there is a dude. But no, there's this guy. He's walking butt ass naked, bro. Not even thinking about having a stitch on. Old dude. And he's got his hand like this. And he's saying, all is well. And I recognize who it was once I get up beside him. I was like, it's like fucking midnight. Cold as fuck. I'm like, whoa. And I rose one day. I said, hey, what you doing, man? He's making my rounds. I said, okay. You cold? He said, it's a little chilly tonight. I was like, hey, how about you get in? And I think you just finished your round. Let me take you to the house. And I recognized who it was. It was Stubby Rich's daddy. You know, Stubby's, you know, you're from Chillicothe, you know who the hell Stubby is. But anyway, it's his dad, and he would live to be an ancient dust. You know, lived right behind the elementary forever. You know that house? Remember that house used to be right there?
Yeah.
It's not there no more. It's where the basketball courts are now. That's what he did when he was younger. Like, used to be the night watchman. Like, walked around and checked every door in town, and that's what he was doing. But you know, he's a little bit senile. You know, he thought he was doing it, but he was doing it a whole lot different than he did back in the day.
Didn't get ready.
He was completely naked, and I was like, man, you need to go to the house, bro. Let me take you home. And it took some talking to get him in my vehicle. And, I mean, it's kind of, got to be from a small town to put a naked dude in your pickup. Yeah.
Trying to pick him
You know who he is.
But, freaky things happen, man. Just speaking of rain and people on the side of the road, me and my daughter, Zoe, my youngest, we're going to Chillicothe to go to get something from Dairy Queen and come back. And it's like Thanksgiving or Christmas. I can't remember what it was, but everybody's at the house. So we go to town, and there's this guy pushing a shopping cart down the road. And I always used to pick up hitchhikers and take them past the farm, so they don't walk down there, 'cause it's close enough to the highway that people tend to, if they break down, they'll come down to the house, whatever. So I took him past, right? So that's what I did normally. So I went to town, got what I was coming back, and coming back, it was pouring rain by the time we were coming back. And this dude, he's made it about 200 yards maybe. And now he's got his shirt tied around his head. I mean, I'm talking, it's not raining a little bit, it's raining a bunch. Cats and dogs, dude. So Zoe is like 2 years old, maybe 3. Sitting, of course, not in a chair, standing up on the console, that type of shit. But anyway, so I pull over because he's like right before the road. I'm like, I got to get this dude past the farm. Everybody's down there. So I said, hold on. And I got out the vehicle, and this shopping cart, dude, I said, okay. I said, I'll give you a ride. My intentions were give him a ride to Vernon, drop him off, and turn around and come back, So jump out in the rain. He unloads some shit out of the shopping cart. We dropped the tailgate, put the shopping cart back there, and there's this satchel that folded up. It's a leather thing that folded up. And I reached down there to pick that up, dude, and it stopped me. It was that heavy, whatever the hell it was. I don't know what it was, didn't look, but I mean talking heavy. And so he said, I got that. And he picked it up, puts it in the deal. He gets in, and we're riding. He's soaking ass wet, dude. We're unwrapping the shirt from his head. My 3-year-old daughter sitting right here. I slid her over to me, And I said, where are you coming from? He said, Amarillo. I said, where are you going? He said, I said, what? He said, Amarillo. I said, okay. So I picked Zoe up and I moved her to the, the door, the driver's side door, between me and the door. And this dude is soaking wet, dude. And he looks up. He looks straight out the window, and he starts shaking his head like a dog. And then he takes his hand and slaps himself harder than you watch them contest on TikTok with the slapping contest. That's how hard he hit himself. And Zoe looked at me and said, why he do that? And I said, I don't know. And then he did it to the other, and he slapped himself in the ear, bro. I mean, talking about it. Getting the water out of his head, bro. That's what he was doing. Shit. He was shaking, trying to work, and he hit himself in the ear. I mean, like you don't want to get, like a mule kicks a barn, bro. Like, pow. And Zoe's eyes got this big. Said, why you do that? I was like, I don't know. I moved him over here. I reached down and I grabbed I always carried a buck knife that had a hole in it. And I just pulled it up out of the sheath and I had it right there. And he slaps himself on the other side of the head towards the glass, hits his head on the glass, and looks straight back up and goes, Should I kill him? That just came out of this guy's mouth that just slapped himself harder than I damn sure don't want to be slapped. You know what I'm saying? And so what did I do? I punched it. And he's sitting there looking, staring off. I'm getting up to the rest area. And he goes, no, really, should I kill him? Staring out the windshield. Boy, I hit that exit, locked it down. I said, get out right now. And I reached down there and I had grabbed that knife and I stuck that knife in the damn ceiling of my truck. I said, I don't know, should you kill us? Get out of my truck right now. Get the fuck out. As soon as he stepped out, I took the keys out, locked the doors, closed the doors, dropped that damn tailgate, and I guarantee you, I Hercules that son of a bitch. That I grabbed a hold of that damn shopping cart and threw it a good 20 foot, dude. And it hit and shit went everywhere. And he goes, oh, man, is the ride over? I'm like, yeah, motherfucker, the ride is over. So I called the sheriff. And I said, hey, this is what just happened. He said, okay, thank you. They picked him up, took him to the other county line, the
Yeah.
extra side. But anyway, that's the last time I picked up a
Matter of
hitchhiker.
archer.
He slapped himself, then looked straight ahead and said, "Should I kill them?"
Yeah.
And I've got my 3-year-old
Message
beside me.
is here. Do not pick up a hitchhiker.
Well,
can't
at
anymore.
least not with your 3-year-old.
Yeah. Proceed
that's
with
fucking
caution.
scary.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? This
Yeah,
ain't no
things.
party like a P. Diddy party. You know what I'm saying? That's just crazy, man. When Steve Harvey flees
that'll
the
make you
country,
crazy.
when Family Feud guy leaves the country because he don't want to be Family Feuding, that's crazy, dude. This shit that's going on. And, hey, I figured out, I figured it out. I thought about this the other day. I said, how could a person be able to use that influence to do this shit like he did? Then I got to thinking, man, wait a second. This has been going on forever, bro. Hey, meet me at the crossroads, baby. He's the dude that meets you at the crossroads. Say, this is what you need to do. Sign your soul away. Boom. There it is, bro. That's what he is now.
Yeah.
He's one dude that got caught.
He's Beelzebub.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
There's some other, how many we think we don't know about? What do we not know?
Yeah.
Oh,
The ones that don't get
it
caught.
used to be a joke a long time that if you were going to be a male actor in Hollywood and make it famous, that you had to suck a dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought that was just that rumor was going around. I mean, it's gone around forever. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, that's crazy. I'm not acting shit.
And you had to play as a woman.
Well, then all that shit happened with
Right.
Weinstein, that Harvey Weinstein.
Oh.
It was for real. He was making everybody suck.
All the comedians
And
had to play a woman. All the comedians, you had to be a woman in a movie, make a movie as a woman.
Oh,
Mrs. Doubtfire.
right.
All of them.
That's craziness.
Think about how many comedians did that.
So,
Robin Williams,
Lady Gaga.
Eddie Murphy.
Lady Gaga came out. I mean,
Bill
famous?
Cosby.
How famous do you have to? Lady Gaga by P. Diddy. She got sexually assaulted by them.
Yeah.
It's nuts, dude. And,
how far it had to
and,
go
the,
for you.
and the bad thing about it is I don't know who the fuck I can listen to anymore. Can't listen to R. Kelly.
Feel bad about it. Like, damn it. What's he talking about? What?
Yeah.
Hard not to have a thought in your head.
All right, hold up.
Can't not remember that.
It's the remixing.
It's some damn ghosts.
Oh, it
It's
totally
some damn devils.
Mama rolling that body, got every man in here whistling.
You know them ghosts? Some of them are devils.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, hey,
Same-
Most of them are.
I'm gonna tell you right now. Hey, I don't spirit of fear, but the angel of light, which is what the devil will appear to be when he comes to talk to your ass. He will fool you. He can appear to be the angel of light. He's the angel of light. He can be whatever you need at that point in time. And that goes back to Kenneth Copeland. I tell you that story. Kenneth Copeland's the guy that he. What's it called when you go under and he was his mentor?
Yeah.
He got cancer real bad when he's old, and he's like, and he started this chemo and stuff. And Kenneth Copeland's huge, he's like, man, blah, 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 blah. And next thing you know, he's like, man, I hadn't been to see him in a long time. I need to go see him. So he went to go see him. The preacher that showed him how to do what he does. One of the most famous preachers ever, And he said, how you doing? He said, I'm doing good. I'm doing great. He said, how's your treatment going? He said, I quit. He said, what? He said, that's saving your life. What do you mean you quit? He said, I quit because, let me tell you what happened the other night. God sent an angel. He came down, he sat at the foot of my bed and said, hey, and he said his name. He said, hey, you done your job. You brought many souls to God. It's time for you to go to heaven and sit by me. And he said, so, hey, I quit doing my treatment, he told me I was good, and he kind of comes and said, are you stupid? He will appear to be whatever you need at this time. How do you know that's what that was? That's just something because the treatments hurt, so you really don't want to do them anyway. So this is where the devil dresses up as an angel and comes down and says, hey, hell yeah,
You're
you
good,
don't need
bro.
to be.
You don't got to do this no more.
Hell yeah.
Go ahead and die.
It's why? Because the devil wants anything that has value, anything. So, like if you're ever going through some terrible times, just think about this. It could be because there's value in you that you don't even see yet. And the devil wants anything of value. Maybe God has a plan in store for me or for you or for whatever that is huge, that if we reached that point, if we make it that far, that we could just blow his world up. This podcast could go crazy and we could just end up having millions of people start going to
Listening.
church. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
and finding God. So we don't know that. We don't see that, but maybe the devil does. So all the bad things that's going on in your life, you might be able to contribute that to the devil because there's a plan in store for you that you just don't know about yet.
Yeah.
He's trying to ruin it.
So, and he wants anything of value.
Yeah.
That's how you got to build strength out of
So
that struggle.
Guy by the name of Bill Richards. It was the Texas Artist of the Decade and lived in Chillicothe, Texas. He had a man. It was a shaman. It was a witch from way down South America. Had long hair. It was dressed. It's spooky. I'm talking spooky looking shit. I'm talking
that.
I mean, he gave it. He died and he left it to me. He died and he didn't. He left it to me, or he left a way for them to know that was going to me.
Right.
And I went by. He passed away, and I went over there, and there's 2 lawnmowers he had. And anyway, he left it to his ex-son. I mean, that he was married to his mom a long time ago. So he left everything he had, not to his own kids, to this guy, which happened to be a highway patrolman. So I get out and I go to talk to him. I said, what are you going to do with them lawnmowers? He said, you want them, you can have them. He said, I worked on them so much about 2 hours. You start them up, you can have them. I fired them both up about 5 minutes, loaded them up on the trailer, started laughing. And I said, what'd you do with that old wooden man? He said, that freaky looking son of a bitch. Matter of fact, what's your name? I said, Zach Flint. He said, here, it's yours.
There you go.
So I take it to the house. I'm talking, it's freaky looking, dude. There's not it's like a gargoyle, wooden gargoyle. And it sits like this. And in Indian, cross-legged. I've got a picture of it to freak you out. I mean, I took it and I took it home. And before I took it home, I went to Spanish people. They don't, Beatrice, anyway, shouldn't have said names. So her daddy doesn't hardly speak English. I took this over there and I wanted to ask him what it was because nobody could tell me what it was. And I said, would you come look at something, I met and he went over there and I popped the back of that hatchback on that Ford Explorer. He said, oh, no, and just started walking backwards as fast as he could. Went into his house and shut the door. I'm like, okay.
Right, what does that got here?
So I took it from there, put it on the trailer, strapped it down, and took it to Vernon to talk to another person. And I took it to a friend of mine, and I said, hey, man, I want you to tell me what this is. And he comes out and he sees it. He said, oh, God bless. He said, where'd you get that at? I said, man, the guy left it to me. He said, oh, man, that's not good. I said, what's it called? He said, man, I can't remember the name, but if my mama was here, she would be slapping you. And what it was is they used to put that up around places that they didn't want people to go around. Everybody, Spanish people were scared to death of this thing. I mean, like, so bad a semi wouldn't even pass me, save it 100 yards past behind me. I'm serious, dude. So,
reminds me.
And I said, so you're scared of it? He said, no, I'm not scared of it. And he had a little bitty son, about 3. We're sitting there talking. His son comes outside, jumps up on that trailer, and he heard him. He heard something on the trailer, turn around and look. He's fixing to touch that thing. He goes to screaming like a damn somebody going, like a banshee. No, don't touch it, don't touch it, don't touch it. I said, I thought you were scared. He said, don't touch it. So I was like, damn. He said, man, you got to go. So
time to go.
So I took that home, of course, and I put it on top of the girls' clubhouse, that tree house I built. Drilled it right there. And my mom said, you need to get that. You need to get that. I don't know what that is, but that's not right. You need to get it out of here. I said, man, that's just a damn gargoyle, And I set the damn demon up there on top of my house, sitting there watching everything. Found the true hardest way the one thing that could hurt me, he found. But he was sitting there watching me for years. And after the fact, the girls, I thought, you know what? And I thought of that, and I got so mad, dude. I went up there. And I took a sledgehammer up there, and I hit that thing 2 or 3 good times to knock it off the deal. Hey, didn't dent it, fell off, hit the ground, didn't break it. Hey, loaded it up, took it out there to that road that cuts between 91 and the Balderas' old house. You know that road that it's got the bridge out there, the good nice bridge on the dirt road. Got out there, sit in the middle of that bridge. Me and one of the twins. 5 gallons of gasoline. 5 gallons of gasoline, bro. You ever seen what 5 gallons of gasoline will do?
Yeah.
Hey, poured about 2 gallons. I was like, I didn't want to get carried away. Then made a little trail to the dirt, about 15 foot. lit that bitch on fire, maybe 20 foot. I got it on my phone video of it. Hey, lights up, dude. I swear to God, he smiles. Hey, doesn't turn black, doesn't burn, can't burn it. I put all 5 gallons of gas on that bitch. It wouldn't even char it. I grabbed a hold of that after it wouldn't. Hey, reached down after it just went out. No, nothing burned. I reached down there and I grabbed a hold of that bitch. Not hot. Spun it around in a circle and Superman that hole out in the middle of that damn creek. You know, I was like, fuck this. You know, I was mad.
Yeah.
Came back the next day. Guess what? It's not in the fucking creek. That son bitch grew a pair of legs. I mean, he undid his legs and walked to fucking somebody else's house. And you know, you think I'm not even slightly exaggerating. I mean, wouldn't burn. People are scared to death of it. But I decided I want to put it on top of the girls' clubhouse.
Yeah. Well, you didn't know. Well,
So I'm just saying.
be careful.
Yeah, where we're from, you never know.
Never know what you'll get a hold of.
Lord.
Oh my God!
Take a break.
That be
Yeah,
easy.
we're
He's
just
got to go
done,
pee
I
pee
think.
pee.
I
Be
gotta go
easy
to
P. Oh, is it? We ready to be
Yeah,
out?
this is the Z.
To the B to the E to the Z. And you got to
Easily
pee.
I approach the pot because I got the piss like.
Tonight, we're going to say goodbye for the BEZ podcast. And we will be talking to you soon. But until then, I'm Bucky. This is Earl.
I'm Zach.
We are the BEZ podcast. And we will see you later.
I did write this one. Where the sun was bright as hell this morning when I opened up the door. I looked back and glanced at the bed we once shared, but we ain't sharing it anymore. So I broke another seal to help this way I feel, but the whiskey ain't working no more. So what can I do? I can't drink away these blues. I can't do this all on my own. So I tried to count the reasons for her to stay, but can't get past the reasons she won't. And her ring still lays on the dresser to this day, a constant reminder she's gone. So I popped another pill to help this way I feel, but the pills just ain't helping no more. So what can I do? I can't drug away my blues. I can't do this all on my own. So my mind keeps praying, 'cause my heart keeps breaking every time it hears a slam of a door. And they say in time everything will be fine, but the minutes go by so slow. I said these minutes go by so slow. Yeah, they do. Well, there's nothing I can use to forget the words she used when she walked out my door. 'Cause she looked me in the eye as she began to cry and said, I'm sorry I was not the drug to keep you high enough. Oh Lord, that's why my mind keeps praying and my heart keeps breaking every time here's the slam of a door. And they say in time
everything will be fine, but the minutes go by so slow. I said these minutes go by so slow. Yes, they do. Lord, they do. Well, there's nothing I can use to get over you. I can't do this all on my own. There's nothing I can use to get over you. I can't do this all on my own.